special edition of the Lopsided Trades podcast. I am your host, as always, Zach, aka Lopsided Trades, joined by, as usual, producer Giblet over there. How's it going?
Hello.
And our special guest today from the Afterburners podcast and faithful Lopsided Trades podcast league member, Rec Fantasy. Bobby, how you doing?
League member, league champion.
That was like 5 months ago at this point. It's old news.
That's old news.
Inaugural champion of the Lopsided Trades Pod League. I will have my proper title. Thank you.
And he's here because, as champion and Joe as the winner of the other conference, these two get to pick their league members for the upcoming season. And so basically what that means, if you're picked first, they think you're an easy matchup. They get to face you twice a year, and that's 2 W's right on the board. If you get picked last, they're afraid of you, is basically what that means. And unless Joe's just gonna like eeny, meeny, miny, mo here, which is a strong possibility.
That's a very strong possibility.
I will also add, I ain't scared of anyone. I'm the league champion. Everybody should be gunning for me.
This is true. No reason to be scared. But before we jump right into it, let's talk a little of the mindset here. We'll start with you, Joe, since I know you put a lot of research and preparation to each team here. What's your game plan of attack? You do have the #1 overall pick.
My game plan of attack is to pick Dan first.
I got to be honest, I'm really surprised about that plan. It's a bold strategy, and it's probably going to work out well.
That's pretty much my goal, is to find the guys who have a chance at winning against twice, potentially.
Smart man.
Simple strategy.
And Bobby, what's your plan of attack here?
So my plan of attack was also to select Dan first, if for some reason Joe passed on him. But I tried to think of it from a redraft perspective of, instead of thinking of dynasty, what guys do I not want to face this year, knowing that the divisions will be drafted again next year anyway.
Very smart. You've really only got to worry about this year. So if you see a team that, even if they're not that good, they look like they might be going for it, you might have to be cautious of that because they might, sell off their future assets to improve their team. So there is some stuff to think about here. But it sounds like you're both in agreement on the first pick, so let's get right into it. Joe, you're up, and who's going to be joining your division?
Foster the Gronk.
Foster the Gronk, #1 overall in a draft where that's not something you want to be. His team was old right off the bat, and it hasn't got a whole lot better. It's got Jamal Charles, Marshawn Lynch, Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady's still a threat, but, this could be the year. Victor Cruz and Calvin Johnson as his top 2 wide receivers. This is really a force to be reckoned with. Jason Witten. This is a good team. Welcome to Joe's division, Dan. With all due respect.
Somehow he only has the 105 too. It's not like he has the 101 to really improve himself. He made trades so that he can't even capitalize on his team being probably the worst.
Right, but that Brady Gronk stack could win him a couple weeks here, and those might just be the ones against Joe.
Probably, no, my luck.
All right, Bobby. So now the obvious choice is off the board. What's your pick here?
So this is a little bit surprising, but I'm going to go with Diego or Doug R.R. Martin as my choice. Even though he has Russell Wilson, the GOAT, the rest of his team does not look particularly great to me.
Interesting. Let's see here. He did lose Carson Palmer. He's got Ben Roethlisberger as his second quarterback. That's pretty good. I like Alex Collins. Martavis
AJ
Bryant.
Green is a good piece too.
Yeah, this is
Damn you, Bobby, ruining my 5 minutes of research.
If I recall, he did make the playoffs as the 6th seed last year, so it's a surprise move there.
Yeah, I also totally ignored his IR, but no one on his IR scares me.
No, not at all. Yeah, there's a lack of depth here I'm seeing as I look further into the roster. Larry Fitzgerald is nice, but I think that's a solid, respectable pick. as the first league mate on your roster. All right, Joe, you got the easy pick. What's next for us?
I'm going to go with Rule 76. I think that's Benjamin.
I want to say that's Zach number 2.
No, that's Benjamin. He's right.
It is Benjamin? Okay. Yes, it is Benjamin. Man, Jimmy Garoppolo, Andrew Luck, Jameis Winston, you're not scared of those quarterbacks?
God, no.
I mean, this is pretty awful running backs. Joe Mixon, Kenyon Drake, and
I'm more scared of him having Johnny Manziel, to be honest.
That's a smart man. You know, I think he's worked out for several teams. He might just be the Patriots quarterback by week 5.
The one thing I'll say about Benjamin is he does have the 101, so Saquon Barkley is likely joining his team.
That's true. That's a big upgrade for his running back core there. But yeah, I mean, if Andrew Luck doesn't come back, that's a pretty good pick. This team, if I recall, didn't they go quarterback with their first 3 picks of the startup draft last year?
I can't recall, but that sounds right.
Yeah, it was not a move I was a fan of. So I'm pegging this team for like 2 wins tops.
Ooh, harsh.
All right, Bobby, back to you for pick number 2.
This might be another surprise, but I'm going with Hot American Dickens, Bill.
Ooh, I don't know how Bill's going to react to that. Is he more like the Buffalo Bills, or is he just a fan of the team?
Yeah, I don't know. So Bill's team, it's pretty good because it has Rodgers, but Eli doesn't scare me at quarterback. Derek Carr, I've never been a huge fan of. Outside of Jordan Howard, he has LaShawn McCoy, who's older. And then his wide receivers are okay. He does have Zach Ertz, but one of the things that I noted particularly with him is that he doesn't have a first-round pick to improve his team at all.
That's big. That's huge, actually. And I think that's a great point. Let's see. His first pick is 208. So that's pretty far down there. So you can't really foresee this team getting any significant upgrade in the draft. So I like your thinking there.
Yep.
All right, Joe. Who's next?
I'm gonna go with Breezing to Victory.
That's a good pick because he was a pretty bad team last year. He has invested heavily in this draft, but most likely he's still 2 years away from any realistic competition.
It's true. He has the 103, 104, 109, and 110. I wrote down everyone's first-round picks.
Smart there. And he's got Carson Wentz as his only starting quarterback, and he's coming off a torn ACL. Obviously, he's going to add 1, probably 2 rookie quarterbacks, but who knows if those guys start right away. Good chance this guy starts out 0-4 and then maybe gets stronger as the season goes on. But it's a weak team right now. Dalvin Cook coming off a torn ACL, Julian Edelman coming off a torn ACL, Mike Williams, who knows what you're going to get out of him. I think that probably would have been my 2nd overall pick. So bravo, Joe. You did your research and it shows off right there.
I considered it, but honestly, all those first-round picks did scare me off a little bit.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, Bobby, your number 3.
My number 3 is going to be something clever, which is Zach 2.
Zach number 2. And let's see.
Admittedly, Cam Newton and Deshaun Watson is kind of scary, but his running backs are hot garbage. And at wide receiver, he's decent. I wouldn't say he's great, and he has nothing at tight end.
See, he does have David Johnson. But again, no first-round pick here.
Yep.
And so he's not going to make any significant additions.
Sorry, I meant outside of David Johnson, his running backs are garbage. Right. Normally, I would like Carlos Hyde, but now with Chubb there, I don't like Hyde at all.
Yeah, and I was kind of intrigued by Peyton Barber, another guy that lost his job. This team is looking not so great, and so I got to say, with the rosters right now, we've got 2 trash divisions, and we're at about the point where someone's going to need to add a good team. What do you think, Joe? Is your next pick a good team, or are you still thinking you're picking trash?
Oh, you're all trash. You're all trash. You're getting my shit talking right here. All right.
Getting the shit talk.
I can't do that. I'm sorry, guys. You guys are awesome. I can't do that. Just can't do it. I want to trash talk, but I can't.
He's the worst.
The rough life. But you know what? I'm going to pick the trashiest team I know, I think.
The trashiest team you know.
Give me a quick – who's left? There's Theon Schmeckel.
Shecky's team, yep. Walt Sanity, Mark's team.
Cardiac Cats, Justin, Zach's left.
And I think that's it.
That's it.
I do like Cardiac Cats. It's such a cool name too.
You know, maybe when you get to this point in the drafting, you might as well just have a cool name in your division. What do you think?
I think yeesh. I think I'll go with it. Cardiac Cats. He's got a cool name.
Cardiac Cats, the cool name joining Joe's division.
But he's complete trash. Trash.
That's great trash talk, man. I really like your team name.
He's got Blake Bortles, Matthew Stafford, Jay Ajayi, Todd Gurley, Brandon Cooks, Julio Jones, Jarvis Landry. This is a strong team, as Justin's teams usually are. Evan Ingram at tight end. But he's trash.
He always had a good team.
Yeah, from my experience, Justin is a very strong dynasty player. Does he have a first-round pick?
He has 1 second.
He has the toilet bowl pick.
Yeah, he has the 1.13.
All right, so he'll be able to do something there, but he's trash.
He's complete trash.
All right, Bobby, let's hear it.
At this point, I need to select my number one rival, and that is one Zachary Wilkins.
Dun, dun, dun.
He has the 102, folks, but right now his quarterbacks are Patrick Mahomes, and then his second best is either Ryan Tannehill or Andy Dalton.
Great.
Three running backs, he has Christian McCaffrey and then a whole lot of nothing. And then wide receivers, he has Mike Evans and Allen Robinson, which is great. But he's definitely still relying too long on that Devontae Parker breakout.
Excuse me, Robert Woods. Hello?
Yeah, he's got Robert Woods, my favorite wide receiver.
Robert Woods. And then in tight end, he does have Tyler Eifert, Jordan Reed, and OJ Howard. At least one of those guys shouldn't be injured this year, right? So, yeah, I think I'll select my best man and make him salty just before my wedding.
That's who I should have picked.
It was a race to see who would pick me, and I gotta say, you made a huge mistake.
I'm probably gonna regret that. But
top 5 quarterback. There's a good chance Baker Mayfield joins his team and turns around both me and Cleveland Browns.
It'll only be sweeter when I bounce you from the playoffs, just like I did in my first year playing fantasy.
Yeah, you tell him, Bobby.
You're spitting hot fire right there.
Ask him if he wants to trade you Odell Beckham Jr. for Colin Kaepernick.
Hey, man, we don't talk about that.
Now all of the Twitterverse is going to know.
Well, I will say this. By joining your division, I face Bill and Zach number 2, who don't have first-round picks.
And Diego.
I'm feeling Diego too. I'm feeling a playoff spot this coming year.
It's very possible. It's not a strong division. Everyone in it sucks, including you.
Don't worry. Christian McCaffrey is all I need at running back. All right, so we're moving on to Joe's final pick to complete the division. You have Walt Sanity and Theon Schmeckel as your 2 final teams here.
Well, that's a tough choice.
Yeah, both trash. I agree.
Definitely both trash. Theon Schmeckel's my homie, though. You know, we were rivals this past year, always going at it. And he always offers me trades that I never seem to look at the time because of my work schedule. But I like Walt Sanity's team for my division better.
Yeah?
I'm going to go with Walt Sanity.
Walt Sanity is the pick. He's got Drew Brees, Dak Prescott, Le'Veon Bell.
My favorite.
DeAndre Hopkins, Golden Tate, Doug Baldwin, and not much at tight end, depending on what you think of Jack Doyle. So this team, it does have a hole or two, but it is pretty strong. but I think you made the right call there, going with sanity to complete your division.
Thanks. Me too.
I gotta say, now that we see the divisions complete, I'm looking at the Golden Horde for another division title, I think.
Oh, I sure hope so. Back to
So
back.
I was going to say, if we had to draft each other, you would have been towards my last pick. It was between you and Theon Schmeckel. For someone who did 5 minutes of research, you did a pretty good job of going through my list more or less in order.
Yeah, you really did.
Oh, thanks.
All right, Bobby, with your final pick, you select
Theon Schmeckel, I guess, the team I least wanted in my division.
Yeah, this team's looking quite formidable now that Case Keenum's locked in. He's got 4 starting quarterbacks to start the season, but even when Joe Flacco loses his job, it's not going to be a big problem.
He has 2 strong running backs, a bunch of good wide receivers.
Running backs, Fournette, Gordon, Dion Lewis.
Oh, yeah, I missed Lewis there, yeah. I told Shecky earlier his team looks really good, and he said that's probably the nicest thing I've ever said to him.
Yeah, Will Fuller, Alshon Jeffrey, Juju Smith-Schuster, Sammy Watkins, Njoku, Jared Cook, Ricky Seals-Jones. This team
tight end's probably the one slight weakness of this team, but even then, it's not that weak.
Right, and it's best ball, so you're not trying to pick between those guys. I feel like you can probably get something good on a weekly basis.
He even has Chad Kelly stashed on his taxi squad, which I think is a good stash.
Yeah, it turns out he had the handcuff to Case Keenum all along. Who would have thought it? So that is the divisions completed. Do we want to give these divisions some names? That's a big question to consider here.
I didn't consider this because we hadn't talked about it before. I could go. Should I just go with my division name from the other league, or should I come up with something new? Because I do have Kareem Hunt in this league as well.
This is true, but I mean, maybe because you drafted these guys, you can name your division like the League of Unextraordinary Gentlemen, something along those lines.
Joe, do you have a name already?
Oh God, no! I haven't thought about that.
Oh yeah, I threw this on you guys without any planning whatsoever.
Man, I gotta think of like people who really just suck at everything, because that's what this division is.
Oh,
the people who suck at everything. That division name has some.
Sorry. Excuse me. The people who suck at everything except Bobby.
Damn! Wow.
I'm brain farting on names.
Oh wait, I got it. People who will be watching me take another champagne shower when I win, another championship. Period.
It's a little long for a division name.
It's a very long one. Oh man.
People who will not be in the way of my repeat.
Except Theon Schmeckel.
No, not even him. I ain't scared.
Attaboy, Bobby. I mean, no, Bobby, you're trash.
I can take them all down. I really wanted to bring over the trophy, but that's for another league. But that's also a league that I beat Joe in. I faced Joe in 2 championships, and I beat him in both.
Yeah. I was in 3 championships, and I lost all 3.
I was in 3 championships, and I won 2.
Yeah. This is my year. I was most proud, though, because the one I lost to Zach, I went from dead last to win the entire division and then made it to the Super Bowl, even though I lost. I came from, dead last.
All right. Also, I think maybe I finally have an actual name, which would be the league or the division of boys and one man, Bobby.
I like that one.
I like that.
Now Joe needs to come up with a name.
We're going to be Division Jossum.
Division Jossum?
Yeah. You ever watch Street Sharks?
I don't even know what Street Sharks is.
I can't say I have.
If you don't know, you can't afford it. So
4 brothers are accidentally transformed into half shark, half humans.
It was a TMNT ripoff in the 90s. It was awesome.
Wow. And how do you spell Jossum?
Awesome with a J.
It's a terrible division name, but we're going with it.
That's right.
There have never been better division names in the history of ever.
I agree.
Division of boys and one man, Bobby, and Division Jossum.
I like that. Yeah. Next year I'll have a better name.
Wow. The subtle trash talk there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, I think that we need a league trophy for when I repeat.
Some dog shit?
But one that won't break in the mail.
Dog shit.
That was pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, it's all right. Glued it back together.
It, right?
Yeah, you better glue it back because it's going to go to me next.
I'll have to not ship it. Well, actually, I'm sharing with Christian, so if we win again, I have to ship it to him. But I'll ship it with some Gorilla Glue and say good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, we should have a championship belt for the pod league.
Yeah, we should have something.
All right, Joe.
I need something so that when we do this podcast next year, I can just hold it up in front of me the whole time.
All right, Joe. You're in charge of that. Find us a belt.
All right, I'll get right on it on top of everything else.
That's right. You can worry about it after your wedding.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Should have put it on my registry.
Yes.
Championship
belt. So Bobby.
Yeah.
Happy with your division?
For the most part. I mean, I said I'm not scared, but I really did not want Shecky in my division. So, and I should say that because I definitely have been somewhat mean to him in the past. So I'm trying to make him feel good right now.
No, I do wish I picked Dear Leader instead of Cardiac Cats, I think.
That was the one. So I guess at this point I might as well just share my ranking since it'll just make people even saltier. So I had Dan as the first overall pick because his team is garbage. Then I had Diego, who I took because his team's also garbage, just less garbage than Dan's. Then I took Bill, even though his team's okay, but it's not the best. Then I had Mike, who you took, breezing to victory. I'm just scared a little bit of all his first round picks, especially because it's best ball. Then I had Zach too, then Zach, then Benjamin, then Justin, then Mark, and then Shecky. So you did a pretty good job. The only time you went past my rankings was when you selected Benjamin.
Well, he's a Chiefs fan, so I like him.
That's true. Chiefs fans gotta stick together.
The people in your division, do you want to like them or do you want to beat them into the ground?
Can't you do both?
You know,
I guess
I can like them as I beat them into the ground.
Yeah, I guess there's also part of me that selected Bill because I like Bill, but I also like beating Bill.
Exactly.
That's fair.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
How do you feel about your division?
Pretty good, except for that one
Division
little thing. Division Jossum. I think my whole division is gonna win this year. We're gonna crush your division.
By the way, I just set up the divisions and generated a new schedule based on those divisions.
Let's see who I face week 1. Schedule. I face Zach 2, and then I have Diego, then Dan, then Zach. That seems like a pretty easy 4-week stretch.
Excuse me. 3 weeks, sure. I'll give you that.
Ooh, Bobby, week 7. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah. I think I'm going to win that one. Pretty sure.
Ooh, I didn't even... A rematch of... Nice.
A rematch of the championship.
Yeah, you only face 3 teams outside your division, and Joe gets both of us, so that's pretty cool.
And also, I get Shecky.
When
Damn,
Joe,
yes.
just a reminder, in the championship, I beat you with a combo of Blake Bortles, TJ Yeldon, and Antonio Gates. What strong fantasy options.
Oh,
Thanks.
yeah, all my teams just tanked in the last game of the year.
But
Yeah.
at least you have Jarek McKinnon.
That's true, you do. To be fair, the other league I beat you in, we basically just Todd Gurley'd you to death.
I actually did the same thing. I Todd Gurley'd him to death in the league I faced him.
Wow, you just got Todd Gurley.
Pretty much. It sucks because I had him last year and he did nothing for me. It was just disappointing.
Yeah. That's the worst. Absolute worst. All right, fam, it's time for me to go play video games and roster bait, because based on the fact that I have a trash division.
Hey, I have the trashiest division, all right?
Excuse me, but my division might as well be Schnooky from the Jersey Shore, because that's how trashy it is.
Can't wait to see what our league mates think of the new look of the league, the new layout here.
I'm sure people are ready. Maybe not people, but at the very minimum, Shecky's already commenting in the chat.
Oh, is he really?
No, that's just my guess.
Anyone was aware of exactly when this was going down.
Well,
he knows somehow. He just knows. That's what he does.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and hit stop broadcast. But I enjoyed drafting with you. And my computer's acting up, so you'll have to edit that out too.